If there's anything you want to ask, just ask. Yes, in that case, my god, may I ask, what size of breast do you prefer? Breast? No, Mira is an elven knight, and she asked with complete sincerity. Perhaps this is some noble custom unique to the Highland Kingdom? A knight's devotion? A burning passion? What kind of breast are we talking about exactly? Yes, I mean the size of a woman's breast and which you find most appealing. I have absolutely no idea where this is coming from. Yet despite her hesitation, Mira continues to gaze at me with unwavering seriousness. We have three options. I do tend to like larger breasts. Actually, I prefer small ones. What matters most is what's inside. So the top one, isn't that the meme, bigger is better? And the second one, flat is justice. The third one, personality does trump all, huh? Actually, I do tend to like larger breasts. She asks, truly? Truly? Then why does it seem that you favor Mirana over me? My god, I ask this in earnest, so I pray you will answer with equal sincerity. Apparently this matters to Mira far more than I had imagined. No, I really do prefer larger breasts. You truly mean that, she asked? In that case, might I ask what it is in particular that it appeals to you? What? I still have no idea why this matters so much to her. Okay, they simply feel good to touch. A woman's breasts are rooted for charm, for strength. A baby needs a mother ample's embrace after all. There are more possibilities to explore in the bedroom that way. Well, all of these answers are true. To be honest, there's all of the above is what I want to say. I've made my decision, and I feel like this is true no matter what the size is. A woman's breasts are part of her charm, her strength. I had intended to answer simply and directly, but as I spoke, I found myself getting rather carried away and explaining my thoughts with surprising enthusiasm. She says, so you felt passionately about my breast? My god. Your breast? I see, so that was it. Then the reason you had not yet approached me must have been because this body of mine was simply too noble to approach? She says, my god, I hear you recently rewarded my younger sister Mirana with something called a massage. Should it please you, you may bestow the same reward upon me whenever you wish. If it is you, my god, then yes, I shall allow it. Well then, I shall return and await your summons. She laughed as she dipped. Mira departs the operation site looking unusually pleased with herself. Did she simply want a massage just like her younger sister?
A few moments later.
You can ask me anything. Then my god, what size of breast do you prefer? What, now she's asking me? Damn it, I completely let my guard down. To think I would hear the exact same question from Mirana too? They are twins, so the possibility that Mirana somehow meant something entirely different is probably non-existent. Think carefully, dragon. Depending on what you say here, this conversation can become unbelievably exhausting in a matter of seconds. I told Mira I like big chests, which means Mirana's probably going for. I yelled that I prefer smaller chests. Yes, may I ask why? My god, please tell me your reason. Why I prefer smaller breasts? Here's the thing, it's not, when we're being honest, it's not that I prefer smaller or bigger. I prefer what's attached. It's like at the end of the day, I was having this conversation with my friend. If she's confident in what she's got, whatever she's got, that's what makes it attractive. They have a more elegant, fine charm to them. That's true. It's nice to be able to hold them in one hand. Clothes tend to look prettier on them too. They're closer to your heart, they feel warmer that way. That's funny. It's nice to be able to hold them in one hand. I think we should go with the elegant, refined charm. I feel like that's probably the best answer. At first, it feels like I'm desperately scrambling to justify myself somehow. But once I start listing the virtues of smaller chests one after another, I gradually began getting weirdly invested in the conversation myself. Before I know it, I was passionately arguing my case with far more sincerity than anyone asked for. Ah, so then, my God truly cherishes this Miranda's breast that dearly. I'm not entirely sure how the conversation ended up here. Mirana definitely seems to have cheered up after hearing my answer. Thankfully, it looks like disaster has somehow been avoided. Though thanks to that bizarre conversation, the thought of Mira ends up getting completely derailed. And somehow, after giving Mirana a massage for a while, I eventually sent her back on her way. She laughs and says, "It would seem your Grace's eyes are drawn to this humble knight once more." She responds with a suggestive smile and a line like that, and I usually answer with a small smile of my own. Oh, she blushed. That is what Mira's usual sort of strange looks look like. Then sometime last week. Ah, my precious little human god. It's Griselda. My sweet human god, you worked so hard today. Very aghast. You'll be heading back to the sanctuary soon, won't you? Shall my mom Griselda come along and keep you company? Mira, look at Mira's face, she was shocked. Griselda said, oh my, and who is this adorable little darling I have not met before? Mira asked adorable little darling. Griselda says, it's lovely to meet you. Are you perhaps around Guy Young's age? Mira said, adorable. So my breasts are merely adorable? Adorable is all they are? Griselda is curious. After that encounter with Griselda during the mission, Mira became markedly more timid and self-conscious. Gacha Young says, so that is what happened. In that case, it does seem her behavior changed after that operation in the city. She even requested profile information for several other Vanguards. I heard Miss Mira also went to personnel and asked for the average bust size of the Vanguard Corps. Of course, no one was willing to compile a report on something like that. The average bust size of the Vanguard squad? An undeniably fascinating subject, but hardly one to pursue at a time like this. In any event, it seems Miss Mira came to a rather unfortunate conclusion. Namely, that by the standards of your Vanguards, her own figure is merely average. She who rises by the breast may also fall by it? I still don't understand why she's become obsessed with this. In any case, if this is the source of Miss Mira's concerns, I'm afraid there is little the Rift Bureau can do to offer a practical solution. We cannot very well approve breast enhancement surgery as an employee benefit. No, absolutely not. A god who funds breast enhancement surgeries for his vanguards? I shudder to imagine the rumors that would spread. True, unless magic could do something about it. Come to think of it, Miss Mirana once said that when the human god massages her chest, it feels like it gets a little bigger. Do you think that might work too? The human god's chest massages? Gacha Young asks, I beg your pardon? It would be a little embarrassing though. I do not believe the human god's divinity includes powers of that nature, Gacha Young says. After sending the two thoroughly flustered agents on their way, I decided to summon Mira that afternoon and speak with her directly. Banging on the door? It's open. My god, Mira, your knight has answered your summons. Small and adorable. Mira of the modest bosom. She's laughing. Oh dear, she seems to be in far worse state than I expected. To calm her down, I decided to begin by, you've been a great asset to the team, Mira. Though Mira seemed unusually downcast of late, her performance on the battlefield has not faltered in the slightest. The Golden Knight who stands beside Queen Everett and shields all who fight at her side. She remains a figure deeply admired by the younger agents. But Mirana is the same in that regard. And if that is so, what is there in which eyes the elder sister surpass her? Oh dear. Mira, your breasts truly are beautiful. Her figure may be more modest than that of a vanguard such as Griselda or Nari. Wait, really? Nari's like that? But every woman possesses charms entirely of her own. And yet, you yourself said that you prefer them larger. You said as much before. Oh dear, this is very much my own doing. And in truth, you have never once touched this lady knight's body, not even once. What, that's not true. What about the massages? This is getting out of nowhere. It was time to amp up my game. Then I suppose I have to be direct about this. This situation calls for something a little drastic. A breast massage should do it. Oh. Mira says, what? Mira was not expecting that, neither was I. The moment I reach out and take Mira's breast in my hand, her hand widens in surprise. It is admittedly a little embarrassing, but surely this will be enough to bring her back to her senses so we can speak seriously about what was it troubling her? She laughed? Oh dang, and she guided the touch. Mira gently lays her hand over my wrist. The one still cupping her breasts. Her cheeks are crimson with embarrassment. There is unmistakable strength in her delicate fingers. My god, for you to do such a thing to a lady knight, surely you ought to not be doing this? She laughs. She could pull away whenever she wished, and yet she makes no attempt to do so. The truth is, the sensation of touching Mira's breast for the first time is nothing short of extraordinary. Any man who witnessed Mira's gallant deeds upon the battlefield had likely imagined this moment at least once. Beautiful to behold, astonishingly warm, and impossibly soft, her breasts feel gently beneath my hand. They're incredible, Mira. I knew it. You truly meant every word, human god. Just as I thought, my breasts, there was nothing wrong with them at all. She got her confidence back. In the end, I had little choice but to remain exactly where I was, gently fondling just as she wished. And for as long as she desired, I continued describing in painstaking detail every reason I found them so thoroughly magnificent. That's wild. Okay, the residents are thanking them. Rescued Resident 1. Thank you so much. Rescued Resident 2. Thank you. Now we can finally breathe a little easier. Rescued Resident 3. Look at those 3 elves. They're truly beautiful. We're saved. All hail the beautiful elven queen and her golden elf knights. Mira laughs. Mirana is a little bit surprised, a little flustered. Mirana says, I was not expecting this kind of praise. Everett laughs. She says, hold your heads high, my knights. If you are to walk beside my god and his vanguards, then this is a sight to which you must one day grow accustomed. Everett says, come now, walk proudly beside this queen. This is a triumph worthy of both the world and the divine banner beneath which we stand. Just as Everett said, the lonely battles the sisters once endured had already ended the moment they became vanguards. From now on, neither race nor talent would matter. Beneath my name, they would stand as members of the gods' vanguard, and together continue saving both people and the world itself. The road ahead would no doubt remain dangerous and unforgiving. But if they endured, then what awaited them would no longer be the lonely and unforgiving duty the 2 elves once carried alone, but something worth protecting, something precious enough never to fade with time. For now, I decided to head toward the training grounds myself. And there, right in the middle of the hallway near the sanctuary, Mirana and Mira are standing face to face, engaged in an unusually tense conversation. As I quietly step closer to listen. No, Sister Mira, my god most certainly. No, the Divine One clearly prefers larger breasts, specifically this Mira's breast. Mirana says, that cannot be true. This Mirana heard it directly from him, my god sincerely prefers smaller chests. Thankfully, the 2 Elven Knights possess such overwhelming presence that none of the Rift Bureau employees passing through the hallway seem willing to eavesdrop. No, Mirana, though it pains this Mira to say it, the Divine One and this Mira have already reached the point of bearing our bodies before one another. Mirana gasps, what did you say? I was invited to bathe together with him. Surely this alone proves that the Divine One favors larger breasts after all. Mira says, in the end, this Mira's breast did not lead me astray, Mirana. Mirana says, no, it can't be. Then my breast. Mira says, I'm sorry, Mirana, but this was the Divine One's choice. I truly am sorry. Mirana says, ah, my god. Then would you still hold even a chest as small as this close to you? Oh, they dropped the beat. Yeah. Somehow, after all that, we ended up right back at the chess conversation again. From here, I could tell her the truth. Honestly speaking, I think a woman's bare chest is beautiful regardless of the size. And if it belongs to a lovely woman who genuinely cares for me, it becomes even more beautiful. Facts. Facts. There we go. There we go. There it is. Small or large, confident or shy, a proper man ought to appreciate all of it. Hello. In its own strange way, it was a sort of it was a sort of Boobical philosophy I had arrived at through spirit hits. Oh, that's true. That's true. So true. If that is truly how my god feels, then this Mirana shall also. He says, ah, my god, since you told me you cherish this Mirana as well, then perhaps someday might this Mirana also earn the honor of showing you everything and bathing beside you just like my sister? The competition will never end. Of course, at this rate, I fear I may begin wishing for far more than merely serving you as your knight. Whoa. As at that moment, an all too familiar startled voice reaches us from the other side of the park, causing me to turn my head. Mira is standing there, staring silently in our direction. He says, ah, sister? So close together. My god, and Mirana sharing smiles like those. He's heartbroken? Mira turns and runs off, wearing the saddest expression I had ever seen from her. Don't worry, I'll talk things through with Mira too. I'll speak with Mira properly as well, little by little. Yes, my god, this Mirana is no longer worried. I understand now that my god is not like ordinary men. I know you will surely care for Sister Mira's feelings as well. I know that, and yet... Whoa. Drawing close, Mirana presses herself against me and kisses me almost clingingly. From that warmth, I can feel just how deeply she cares for me. Yes, because my god keeps accepting even the lacking parts of this night Mirana again and again without hesitation. I know you embrace not only me but my sister as well, and countless other women besides. Damn. My god, this knight of the golden ratio has in truth come to love the human god deeply as a woman. Mira's confession was sudden, yet there was nothing frivolous about it. More than ever, I was reminded that beneath everything else, Mira was a noble knight to her very core. But still, when I saw the look upon your face the other day, this knight finally understood. The one you truly cherish is my younger sister, Mirana. And so though I still love you with all my heart, my god, I also treasure my sister dearly, which means these feelings are something I alone must carry from now on. This night Mira shall endure it. I shall ensure that such proper feelings of love trouble you no further. At the very least, I shall no longer allow them to show so openly. Though now that they have taken root so deeply, I cannot say whether I shall ever truly cast them aside. You don't need to force yourself to do that. What? Unless the thought of sharing the same man with her own sister genuinely troubles her, I don't intend to turn away either her feelings or Mirana's. Or perhaps was it the judgment and whispers of others that concerned her? No, never that. And yet, if both my sister and I were embraced by the same god, your honor would surely suffer because of us. Foolish child, Everett's coming through. Your Majesty? To think both sisters would commit the very same foolish discourtesy toward their god. Everett's gonna explain and welcome them to the harem. It seemed Everett's bridal lessons were about to begin once again. Seeing the smile return to Mira's face at last, I quietly decided to leave them to it. And later that night, Mira arrived together with her younger sister, Mirana, her face flushed with unusual shyness. Mirana says, "My God, I have brought my sister to you. My sister too wishes to be held in your arms tonight as soon as possible." As soon as possible. Mirana. I want to be with you too, Mira. No, sister, you mustn't be so shy. You understand now, don't you? What matters now is how we feel. Wait, what matters most is not how we feel, but what our God desires. It's important that the women who love the human God work together to fulfill his heart together. Damn. Mira says, "I know, to offer our bodies to the God. And yet it is still so embarrassing. Perhaps we should enter together at first? If that is what the human God wishes, then naturally we could. But your first time is precious to you as well, isn't it, sister?" Mirana says, "Sure, my God. This night Mirana shall stand guard outside your chambers tonight. I will make certain no one disturbs you. Understood. The last time the human God taught me how to pleasure myself, so you needn't worry too much about me. Though, if it is your desire, alright. Yes, then please take good care of my sister, of both of us."